Mike, check 1 2. It's the Y2K Collector, and there are 3 games specifically, in my opinion, that make the PSP worth owning in 2025. And we're going to get to that. But before we do, shout out to all the Y2K crew members. Hopefully, you all had a great weekend. Hopefully, you all got to enjoy it, spend some time with the family. Uh, Unfortunately, the Lakers lost again. But you know what? I'm not even mad at it because big shout out to Anthony Edwards. I think he dropped 40 today. He dropped 40 points on the Lakers head top. Big game for him. A lot of people consider him the next Jordan. I don't know about that, but give him his props. He did his thing, and he's doing his thing up there in Minnesota. I won't even really be mad if the Lakers lose in the first round because, to be honest with you, even if they make it past the Timberwolves, I do not see them making it past the Clippers, the Nuggets, or definitely not OKC. So it's not like they were going to be winning any championships this year. But shouts out to them and JJ Redick. Great job on the season. But I think Thursday might be, or Wednesday. I think they play Wednesday. Wednesday might be the end of the season for those guys. So shouts out to them. Hopefully you all got to take advantage of the promos that we had this week. It looks like we're back to just a normal week, right? A normal week, no real sales that I'm aware of, no real promos anywhere. So it's really back to just your standard, Facebook marketplace deals, yard sales, things like that. So it's really the last couple days of April, so I don't really foresee any more major pickups, to be honest with you. I do have a number of games coming in the mail from online that I purchased during the promo. A lot of those games have yet to even hit my doorstep, so I'll probably show those games throughout the week as they come in, so you guys can stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's talk about the PSP and 3 games that I honestly think make this handheld still worth it. Now, I would have put the Priny series in this list, both Priny 1 and Priny 2. I would have made them a part of this list, but they have actually ported the Priny games to the Switch. I'm not sure if they ported them to the PlayStation 4 as well, but I know they've definitely been ported to the Switch. They actually have a really cool Priny like special edition game that comes with like this mini Lego version of Priny that you can put together. It's a cool little Lego version. So if you don't have a PSP, you can still enjoy the Priny games on the Switch. And I'm gonna be honest with you, like I actually had that game and I had to trade it away because it literally looked exactly the way it looks on the PSP. I don't feel like they did any like upscaling on the graphics. They didn't revise it in any way. I thought that, bringing it to the Switch, they would have done some type of graphical cleanup, but it is like an exact replica of what it looks like on the PSP, like to the T. So I wasn't super impressed with the port, and that's why I kind of sold my Switch version and I kept my 2 originals in my PSP collection. So, but Prinny is a really awesome game. It's like one of those 2.5D side-scrolling action platformer games. It's a bit annoying because the platforming in this game can be difficult because if I'm not mistaken, I don't think you can change course mid-air. Like let's say you jump in one direction, you can't change directions while you're in the air. And that is tough, right? Because that means whenever you're going to jump somewhere, you have to make sure that's where you want to go because you're going to be committed to that jump. He does have like this, obviously like this blade. He has these attacks that he can do. It's kind of like a hack and slasher in some ways, but Prinny is a pretty cool game. Don't get me wrong. I like it. I think it's a very fun game. I would probably be more prone to playing it on the PSP, but this is one that you can get on the Switch. Now let's move to some games that you can't get on the Switch, at least not yet. I don't think you can get these games on the Switch. And starting it off, we have Gurumin, A Monstrous Tale. I've actually talked about this game before. I honestly think that this game makes a PSP worth checking out. If you like action, adventure, like RPG games, if you're a fan of games like Kingdom Hearts, or, like this, honestly, like if I didn't know better, I would have thought this was a Square Enix game. But this is kind of like an action adventure RPG game. It gives me, like I said, Kingdom Hearts vibes, games like that. But basically, you're playing as this girl whose parents are archaeologists. and you have a drill, and you use the drill to dig up different items and things throughout the level. It's also one of your main weapon in the game. And basically, you're in this city that's being taken over by these monsters, and you have to stop these monsters. Your classic story, but I think the thing that draws me into this game is definitely the graphics. I think they do a really good job with the graphics. I believe it's that like kind of almost that cell shaded type of graphical art style. Maybe not so much cell shaded, but it has that cartoonish type of art style. It's not going for the realism like you would see in a game like Metal Gear Solid or something like that. So I think whenever you go with the more cartoony graphics, those age a whole lot better. So just going back to a game like Gurumin, the music, the gameplay, the story is interesting enough. I think this is one worth checking out on the PSP if you're into those adventure RPG type games. So Gurumin, if you've never heard of this one, check it out. Next up, this is a game that you guys have heard me reference a lot. Like I referenced it the other day when I was talking about a PS2 game that I picked up called Narc. Chili Con Carnage, man. A lot of people, I don't know how many people really know about this game or even talk about this game. I don't see a ton of videos on it. But I think Chili Con Carnage is definitely one that you need to check out on the PSP. I don't know if this game got a port to any other platform. I don't think it did. But this is like, think Grand Theft Auto, on the, across the border. Think about it like that. You can hop into different cars, you can steal cars, you get to drive around. You're able to use different weapons throughout the game. In a way, this game reminds me of like a cross between Grand Theft Auto and Max Payne. I think the Max Payne aspect of it comes when you're getting into, it's like when you get into these third person, shootouts, you have the ability to slow time down. You can do like kind of like that bullet time, which allows you to kind of get a better aim on your enemies. A few games have employed that tactic, not just Max Payne. I don't know if Max Payne was one of the first games to do it, but I think you can do it in Wet as well. But you can also do it in Chili Con Carnage. And I think this game is just, tons of explosives and action, and it's a very action-packed game. So action-packed adventure style game that again has like it reminds me a lot of like Max Payne meets Grand Theft Auto. So if you've never heard of this game, Chili Con Carnage, one that I recommend you check out on the PSP for sure. And then last but not least, you guys have also heard me mention this game a few times, and this is Kabancho Badass Rumble. This is a very, very detailed and in-depth beat 'em up. You can learn different moves. There's power-up features and things like that. It's got a pretty cool story behind it, and this is like an Atlas gem. This is truly an Atlas gem. This is a game that I think if this would have made its way to the PS2, this definitely would have been up there with games like God Hand and some of those really rare obscure beat 'em ups. This is a really cool one that I kind of wish would have got a port to the PS2 or even some type of remake in some way. But this is an Atlas classic, and Atlas, if you're listening, you need to do maybe like another version of this. Give us another installment in this game, kind of like the way they gave us Berserk and the Band of the Hawk. They need to kind of do something else with this IP, but I thought that this was a pretty cool game. I don't know if there are aspects of the game, I can't remember, that would make it like politically incorrect in today's climate, but yeah, for sure, I think this is definitely these three games right here: Gurumin, Kabancho, and Chili Con Carnage. These are three games that definitely make picking a PSP up in 2025 worth it. Obviously, there's a ton more games that you can get on the PSP, but the reality of it is a lot of the PSP library shows up right on the PS2. So I kind of wanted to show you some of those games that I think are still exclusive to the PSP. I haven't really looked into it. If any of these games have gotten a port to any other console, you guys can let me know in the comments down below. But I think right now these are some of the top PSP exclusives. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Let me know how your weekend went, and I will catch you in the next video. It's the Y2K Collector. Take it easy.